Welcome to Tyler's Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Today is March the 16th, 2026. We're going to be talking about AEW's Revolution. We just watched it. It ended a couple of minutes ago. It was like at 12. But the problem with my thing was mine was glitchy. When I was watching it, it was freezing and all that stuff. I don't think it was supposed to be that long, but it felt long because it was glitchy. I have a streamer box to stream my pay-per-views, and I guess whoever was streaming it has a little problems with their internet. I got messy hair too. But ladies and gentlemen, there was a lot of dumb matches that they put in there. They could have waited for AEW Dynamite because some of these matches wasn't even pay-per-view worthy. My hair won't stay down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a pre-show. We got Boom and Doom, Boom AJ and QT Marshall with Aaron Solo, Big Justice, and the Rizzler will be versing Captain Shawn Dean, Carly Bravo with Christine Axel, Shane Taylor, and Trish Adora. And the winner of that match was Boom and Doom. We have Will and Nightingale. I didn't watch any of these pre-show matches. I did not know about it. And I wasn't going to have another hour of watching all of this because I want to do 2K26. I'm starting to download people and arenas. I'm trying to, I want to do my universe mode, but now I gave it some days and some people have some good ones out and I could use some of them. So yeah, that's what I want to do. So I didn't want to do like 6 hours of AEW and not play 2K26. So I waited until the main show. Next we got Will Nightingale versus Lena Cross for the TBS title. And I guess Will Nightingale got attacked after the match, so she was injured, and she still has to defend the tag team titles in the main show. We have a 21 Blackjack Battle Royal for the AEW National Championship. See, this is what I didn't like. This was a Battle Royal, and it was on the pre-show. And the winner of that match and the new champion was Jungle Jack Perry. But why would it be in a Battle Royal? Why couldn't he win 1, 2, 3? And why does that have to be on the pre-show? There's a lot of matches that they could replace with that national championship, and it would be one of the top show matches. Why in the world we get Maria Shafir versus Toni Storm? Nothing on the line. Swerve Strickland and Brody King. The only thing they want to know who's the most dangerous guy. I don't care who's the most dangerous guy. You're both dangerous. Why am I caring about that? Andrade and Bandito. Some of these matches could be on AEW Dynamite. Why would it have to be on a pay-per-view? They didn't have the TNT title on the line or the International Championship on the line. They had the TBS. They had almost all the titles except for the two main ones, TNT and the International. When is the last time Okada defended title? When did he defend his title? I don't remember when he defended it. But we do have a new national champion. That was Jack Perry. Everybody knew that was going to happen. He will be the one to take the title off of Ricochet. But I think everybody thought it would be a one-on-one match, and he gets a 1, 2, 3. Not he throws him over the top rope. We have FTR versus the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It was a pretty decent match. It was a long match. 18 minutes, guys. 18 minutes. It took a long time, and we saw a lot of breakups, a lot of tag team moves, stealing each other moves, and all that stuff. They even mock the family of the Young Bucks, but the winner of that match. And still, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, FTR. But, ladies and gentlemen, FTR's celebration got cut short because the lights went out and it said there was saying something says "avenge," and then it put a R in there, revenge, and it was Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland makes his return, and even Christian Cage makes the return, and they both attack FTR. They even attacked Stokely. They want a shot in those tag team titles. They hold up the tag titles, and then they had a stare down with the Young Bucks. And will they try to steal another thing from WWE? Because I remember with Tommaso Ciampa when he turned heel, they did the whole thing with Johnny Gargano, the emotional betrayal where he attacked Johnny, and they did the same thing with Mark Briscoe. It wasn't really emotional because nobody knows about their history. No, a lot of people know about their history because you never put it together. It's not a story. With Johnny Gargano, it was emotional because they were friends, they were teammates for years, and then he came out of nowhere and betrays the guy. So yeah, it wasn't really memorable for me. It's just, you stole something from WWE again. Will they steal the triangle or triple threat TLC match between FTR versus Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus the Young Bucks? Will they steal that? I have no idea. Well, next we got Timeless Toni Storm versus Maria Shafir. I wasn't really caring about this match. Everyone was banned from ringside. I didn't care. I was on my phone. I didn't really care for the match. I'm not a big fan of Maria Shafir. It's not because of her. It's because of her style. I don't think that if you're doing a UFC style in the WWE ring, WWE or any type of wrestling ring, it's not going to work. I'm okay with submissionists, but UFC or MMA or whatever you do, it doesn't work. I get bored of living hell of it. When Shayna Baszler did it, when Ronda Rousey did it, when Shafir did it in WWE, I got bored. Because it's not the same thing as a submission is. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was okay, I guess. But the winner of that match was Toni Storm getting the win. She was celebrating on the ramp, and out of nowhere, Ronda Rousey gets in the ring. Oh my God, guys, Ronda Rousey. You know she wasn't the best in the WWE. Even the fans said it. So how is this the biggest debut you ever had? I don't think it's what the biggest debut they ever had because it's Ronda Rousey. She doesn't know how to wrestle. She knows how to do a UFC style, but she doesn't know how to wrestle. I think she's doing a UFC match in May. She only knows UFC. She doesn't know how to wrestle. She wasn't a great WWE Women's Champion. It didn't work out so well. She tried twice in the WWE and did not work out so well because she only did UFC. Nothing cool, nothing fun, not actual wrestling holds, just UFC crap. Nobody wants to see UFC happen in wrestling because wrestling is different than UFC. And then she calls out Toni Storm to the ring. Toni Storm got in the ring. We had a stare down, and then a whole bunch of security guards and referees try to stop them. And then out of nowhere, Shafir attacks Toni Storm with a punch, and then they walk out. We had Jon Moxley versus Takeshita for the Continental Championship. No limit this time. Pretty decent match. These guys destroyed each other. But the winner of that match, and still the Continental Champion, was Jon Moxley. And he wanted to shake hands with Takeshita. Takeshita didn't want to shake his hand. He walked away. But he stopped himself when he was trying to go through the ropes. And then he shook Jon Moxley's hand. I think Takeshita is finally going to be out of the Don Callis family. But the Don Callis was he on a commentary when Takeshita was doing his match. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have we have the women's tag team titles on the line. We have Megan Bayne and Lena Cross versus the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale. On the Jon Moxley match, Will Ospreay made his return and attacked the rest of the Death Riders. He attacked the Death Riders. Will Ospreay is back in AEW. That's a big draw, not Ronda Rousey. Ladies and gentlemen, the women's tag team titles was okay. It was short because Will Nightingale was injured. But ladies and gentlemen, everybody could predict they will lose the tag titles because of the injury. And that's what happened. Megan Bayne and Lena Cross finally got the first ever titles in AEW. And they're finally the tag team champions. I think Ford was supposed to win this match, but she got injured. Now Lena Cross, she just got signed, and now she wins her first ever title. We have Swerve Strickland versus Brody King. It was okay. It was pretty good. But there was nothing on the line. Not a big build-up. It was okay. But the winner of that match was Swerve Strickland. Brody King almost had to win multiple times. But Swerve did a whole bunch of house calls. And Swerve stomps. He even smashed the body of Brody King on the concrete floor. Didn't work out so well. But ladies and gentlemen, the winner of that match was Swerve Strickland. And then he told Prince Nana to get a cinder block to smash his head in. But ladies and gentlemen, when Swerve was about to smash his head in, Kenny Omega comes out and makes Swerve run away. Kenny makes the save. We had Tickle versus Chris Statlander in a 203 Falls match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Pretty decent match. Tickle got the first one. I think she got the first one. And then Chris Statlander got the second one, but the referee got knocked out. Scott Blue and Julia Hart got involved. And then a whole bunch of things happened, but the winner of that match, and still the champion, was Tickle. And then we have Mystico and Jet Speed. Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey versus the Don Callis family. Okada, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis for the Trios Championships. Pretty decent match, but the winner of that match, and your new Trios Champions, Jet Speed and Mystico. So I was laughing about this because what's the point in giving the Don Callis family the Trios Championships weeks ago, because they lost weeks ago, like 2 weeks, something like that. But I think it's because they had to replace Hangman, because Hangman is getting a world title shot. He won't be able to defend the title at Revolution. So I guess they made him lose the titles because of Hangman and gave somebody else a chance. And that was Mystico. And I was thinking in my head, this guy is a Trios champion from CMLL. How is that going to happen? Is that title not going to get defended anymore? The AEW Trios? But they just announced, when they were doing their celebration, Mystico just signed with AEW. He's all elite. And I said, that's how they're going to do it. I think he's still going to be the CMLL Trios champions, but now he could do both shows. Just like Claudio does on AEW, and he does CMLL because he's one of the champions in CMLL. I think he's the world champion, isn't he? I think he's the world champion. We have Andrade with Don Callis. Don Callis did not want to help the other guys, though, but some reason with Andrade, he will be there. Versus Bandito. Pretty decent match. It was back and forth. It was great. It was good. 2 luchadors, but there was no really build-up, and there was nothing on the line, but the winner of that match was Andrade. And then we had Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong versus the Dogs. David Finlay, Gabe Kidd, and Clark Connors in a Tornado Trios match. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they were talking about Finlay, and we saw Finlay on NXT with his other son, Uriah Connors, and they're talking about Finlay. Ah, that was funny. That was funny because we've seen Finlay. He was on television. He was on, and I guess he didn't care much about David Finlay because he wants to be on WWE TV and look at his other son. I wonder if he's going to be part of that team. I don't know. It was a pretty decent match. Gig Kim got himself, I forgot what they call it, zip tied on the stage. It was a pretty decent match. They tried everything they could. They tried to keep Darby Allin down by tying the tag rope around his neck, but it didn't work out. But they showed the winner of that match was Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Roger Strong. We have MJF versus Hangman Adam Page, last chance Texas Death Match. And if Hangman loses, he would never ever get a shot of the world title. This is the same stipulation that Cody Rhodes did, and then he left AEW because everybody wants to see Cody become world champion, not TNT champion, not tag team champion. I don't think they had the trios titles at that time. But they don't want to see him win the smaller belts. They want to see him win the world title. Just same thing as Hangman. Everybody wants to see Hangman win the world title. Nobody cared when he won the trios title in Jet Speed. They cared when he won the tag team titles because people thought he would never get a shot of the world title or win it. But when he did and he became the main character, people want to see him win the world title, not the little small titles. So, ladies and gentlemen, these guys did everything. They used glass, they used dog collars, they used barbed wire, they used tables. They even used a needle syringe. They jumped off the stage into the some breaker box, fireworks spreading. A whole bunch of crap is happening here. And they were busted open a whole bunch of things. But the winner of that match, and still your world champion, MJF, after he choked him out with the dog collar chain. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I think. Because, like I said, everybody wants to see Hangman become the world champion. Now he can't do that because that's the stipulation. It doesn't matter who's the world champion. If somebody beats MJF for the world title, Hangman cannot go for the world championship. So this is why I think he's going to do what Cody Rhodes did. He's going to have some matches, have some rivalries before he leaves AEW and goes somewhere else that he could be the world champion. Because what else is Tony Khan going to do for this guy? Can't make him win the world title. He's going to win the Ring of Honor World Championship? I don't think so. But yeah, there is a lot of world titles that he could win, like the CMML world title. He could win the Ring of Honor, but I don't think those world titles will mean anything. He's AEW. He's not Ring of Honor. He never wrestled on Ring of Honor at all. The last I ever heard of. And I don't think he ever wrestled in CMML. So, I think you always want to be the world champion in AEW. Now he can't do that. What else is Tony Khan going to do for him? Win the TNT title? The International? The Continental? The Tag? No fans want to see that. People want to see he's the main character. He should be the world champion. So, I think that's every time they do these type of stipulations, I think they're going to leave soon. Just like Cody Rhodes. I don't know if Hangman will come to WWE. But we said that about a lot of people. And you got Jay Cargill coming. You got Cody Rhodes coming back to WWE. We got Danhausen. We got Royce Keys. We got a whole bunch of people. We got Shawn Spears. Ricky Sains. Ethan Page. We said no AEW guys will come to jump ships to WWE, but they did. So, yeah, I can't really say that they didn't. I can't say never, because Hangman could be one of those guys that never been in WWE, but makes his first debut. Like Ricky Sains, and Ethan Page, Danhausen and Royce Keys, and Jay Cargill. All of those guys never been in WWE, made their debut, and made an impact. I can't say Shawn Spears or Cody Rhodes because they've been in WWE already. They're making their returns. So that's different. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think Heyman might be leaving soon. And I think if he leaves, AEW still doesn't lose somebody big. They got a lot of big wrestlers, a lot of top guys that could still be MJF for the world title. But I don't see him staying long because he can't go for the world title. And everybody wants to see him win the world title. I want to see him win it again. But he can't win it again. So I think we're going to see him gone soon. We don't know when, but it might happen. But if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tuesday for Monday Night Raw results. I am doing this video 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, because I did a little bit of my 2K26. I downloaded a BDE. I have a list of wrestlers. I got a list of wrestlers that I want to download. I almost have 2 lists of wrestlers I want to download because I like tag teams. I make a whole bunch of tag teams. And I need a whole bunch of wrestlers in my rosters to help my roster out. I don't have a lot of tag teams in all of my shows. So I'm getting WCW guys, old school WWE, WF guys, and we're getting some current WWE guys from TNA, WWE, NXT, AAA maybe, and Evolve, because I have all those shows. So yeah, that's what we're going. That's what I'm doing. It's going to be a while for me to start my universe mode. I might have to wait until the next DLC. But there's some people I could get. There's some good ones. There was a good BDE. You guys should download it. But if you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Time is out. See you guys tomorrow on Tuesday. Bye-bye.